Ever wondered why a simple yes might not actually mean yes in some places? Or why a business meeting can feel totally relaxed in one country and incredibly formal in another? Well, today we're going to crack the code on culture. We're looking at a framework that will pretty much change how you see the world. So let's dive in and explore that invisible programming that shapes all of our lives.
So let's think about it like this. If a society is a computer, what's its operating system? What are those background programs that are always running, telling everything else what to do, usually without us even noticing?
The brilliant social psychologist Geert Hofstede really nailed it with this one. Culture isn't just about the food you eat or the holidays you celebrate. No, it's more like a shared mental software. It's this invisible code that gets installed in us as we grow up, and it guides how we act, how we react, and pretty much how we see everything.
Okay, so if it's collective programming, what are the building blocks? If it's a code, what does that language actually look like? Let's zoom in a little closer.
And here's the really crucial part. This is all learned. You're not born with it. It's a set of patterns in how we think, what we believe, even how we instinctively react to things that get passed down and reinforced in our communities, pretty much from day one.
And the result of all this, you get this incredible, beautiful diversity of human cultures all over the world, each one running on its own unique operating system. It's that invisible code that makes one group totally distinct from another, and it's right at the very core of who we are.
Right, I know this might all be sounding a little abstract, but what if I told you we could actually draw a map of this invisible code? That we could measure it, compare different cultures, and really understand it in a systematic way?
Well, that's exactly what this massive research project called the GLOBE program did. Now, it stands for Global Leadership and Organizational Behavior Effectiveness. But what really matters is that their groundbreaking work gave us a practical map by identifying these key cultural dimensions all across the globe. And get this, their research pinpointed 9 specific, measurable dimensions that really help explain why cultures are so different. I want you to think of them like 9 different sliders on a mixing board, where each culture has its own unique settings.
So yeah, there are 9 of them, and we're going to explore all of them. But instead of just a boring list, let's kind of group them together. We'll start with a big one: how different cultures handle structure, rules, and authority.
First up, uncertainty avoidance. So picture this. Your plans for the weekend just got completely torpedoed at the last minute. Are you energized by the spontaneity, or does a little bit of panic set in? That's what this is all about. High-scoring cultures love a detailed plan and clear rules, while low-scoring cultures are much more comfortable just going with the flow.
Okay, next in this group is power distance. This one is huge. Think about your workplace. Would you ever call your CEO by their first name? Or challenge your boss's idea in a big meeting? In some cultures, absolutely not. In others, it's just another Tuesday. That is power distance. It's all about how comfortable a culture is with hierarchy.
Now, let's switch gears and look at how cultures see the group versus the individual, the whole me versus we thing. First up is institutional collectivism. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but it basically asks, is the system set up to reward the whole team or just the star player? Think of a company that gives bonuses to the entire department versus one that only rewards the top salesperson.
Now, this next one sounds similar, but the difference is so important. This is in-group collectivism. This isn't about society's big rules. This is personal. This is about that fierce, ride-or-die loyalty you have for your immediate circle, your family, your tight-knit team. It's all about how far will you go for your people.
Our next dimension is gender egalitarianism. And this one is pretty much what it sounds like. It measures how a society thinks about gender roles. Do they push for equality across the board, or are there still very distinct and traditional roles for men and women in society and at work?
How direct are you supposed to be? That's the core of assertiveness. In some cultures, getting straight to the point is seen as honest and efficient. In others, being more indirect and diplomatic to keep the peace is way more important. It's the difference between let's not beat around the bush and let's explore that idea further.
All right, let's talk about how a culture sees time. Are you all about the 5-year plan, diligently saving for the future? Or are you more about living in the moment? That's future orientation. Some cultures are just wired for long-term planning, while others really value enjoying the here and now.
And connected right to that is performance orientation. So what gets you ahead in a society? Is it all about constantly improving and crushing your goals? Or is it more about your seniority, your family background, and your loyalty? High-performance cultures are all about what you do, not just who you are.
And finally, our 9th dimension, humane orientation. This one really gets to the heart of a culture's values. Is the main focus on individual success, or is there a strong social push to be fair, generous, and look out for the well-being of others, even people you don't know?
So there you have it, the 9 dimensions. But look, this isn't just some abstract theory. The real power, the real magic, comes when you actually put this framework to use. So why does this matter in the real world?
Well, let's take performance orientation. In a high-scoring culture, critical feedback is a gift. It's an investment in you. But in a low-scoring culture, that same feedback can feel like a personal attack. It's not about your work, it's about you. Loyalty and just belonging can matter more than your raw output. See how different that is?
Or look at power distance. In a high power distance office, the boss makes the call. End of story. And everyone expects that clear direction. But in a low power distance office, that would feel totally disempowering. People expect their voice to be heard. This one thing explains so much about management styles around the world.
So at the end of the day, here's the big takeaway. Understanding these dimensions is like getting a decoder ring for human behavior. It lets you understand your colleagues, build better teams, negotiate more effectively. It lets you replace judgment with actual, genuine understanding.
And that brings me to my final question for you. As you go about your day, think about your own world, your workplace, your community, your country. Of these 9 dimensions we just talked about, which one do you think is turned up to the max? What's the most powerful setting on your culture's invisible operating system?